So we're going to continue our rounding and estimating. Rounding and estimating go together because to be able to estimate, you need to know how to round. So the definition of estimating is to find an approximate value to a numerical expression. Okay, so it's to find an approximate value to a numerical expression. So let's take a look at what that means. So here it says use rounding to estimate sums and differences. So we know sum is to an addition problem and difference is to a subtraction problem. So if we're asked, round the numbers 6,521 and 5,079 to the nearest thousand, this is how they would round, because 5 would push the 6 up, because remember our rule, 5 or more, we give it a shove, so it rounds to 7,000, and then this 0 is going to keep the 5 the same, it's going to let it rest, so this number rounds to 5,000. So then it says estimate, so we have to round before we can estimate. We do not add before we round, okay? We round before we add or subtract. So here in A, it says 6,521 plus 5,079 rounds to 7,000 because the 5 pushes the 6 up, plus 5,000 because the 0 lets the 5 rest, keep it the same. So then after you round, you can add or subtract. So we know 7,000 plus 5,000 equals 12,000 because 7 plus 5 equals 12. Okay, so if we subtract it, it'd be the same thing. We round before we estimate. You have 6,521 minus 5,079. We know that it rounds to 7,000 because the 5 pushes the 6 up, and minus 5,000 because the 0 lets the 5 rest. It keeps it the same. So 7,000 minus 5,000 equals 2,000. So let's continue. Let's do a couple. So if we round each of these, let's go ahead and round them together and figure out what we have. So our first one that we are going to do together says that we need to round 7,192 plus 1,642. Again, when it asks you to estimate, you round first before you can add or subtract. Okay? So we do not add these together and then round. No. You first round and then add or subtract. Okay? So we need to round to the nearest thousand. So if we round to the nearest thousand, my 1,000 is right there and my 1,000 is right there. Remember our rounding rules? We look to the right of the number we want to round to, and then if that number is 5 or more, 5 or above, we give it a shove. If it's 4 or below, we let it rest. We keep it the same. So for this one, the number next to it is a 1, therefore it's below 4, so we let the 7 rest. We keep the 7 the same. So these would round to 7,000. Again, after you round, either keep it the same or shove it, meaning 1 up, you put zeros behind it. Okay, now let's look at this one. The 6 is above 5, so it's going to tell the 1, it's going to give the shove to the 1 to make it a 2. So it's going to make it 2,000. And if you need to see that on a number line, go ahead and draw a number line and see why it would be those two numbers. Now that we have rounded, we can estimate. Estimate means to find the approximate value to a numerical expression. So we found the approximate value. Now we have to add it together. Well, we know 7 plus 2 is 9. And then, of course, all the zeros plus 0 keeps us 0. So 7,192 plus 1,642 is rounded to 7,000 plus 2,000. And the estimate, which means we're estimating our answer, so it's not the actual answer, is 9,000. All right, let's go ahead and do Couple more. So let's do this one. We have 6,290 plus 5,500 plus 3,719. Again, we're rounding to the nearest thousand. If you notice, I underline the place value that I'm rounding to. That way I never forget what I'm rounding to. So this one asked me to round to the nearest thousand. So I'm underlining the thousand. Then I'm going next door to the right to see what number is going to tell the 6 what to do. So this number tells the 6 whether to either go up or stay the same. Well, we know 2 is below 4, so it's going to let the 6 rest. So it will round to 6,000. We're adding, so we keep that addition sign. This 5 is going to tell this 5 to go up because 5 or more, we give it a shove, we raise the score. Okay, so it goes up 1, goes to 6,000. This 7 is going to tell this 3 to go up just 1. We don't go up 10, we don't go up 5, we go up 1. So we now have rounded, now we can estimate. So we know 6 plus 6 gives us 12. Then 12 plus 4 gives us 16. And if you want to make this a little easier, you can always stack them up. Okay, you can always stack them up. Or if you want to go one by one, we can go 6 plus 6 would give us 12,000. Then we would bring the 4,000 down because we haven't used it yet. Now I have 12,000 plus 4,000, and we know that would give us 16,000. Okay, so there's that. Let's do a subtraction one. We have 5,701 minus 3,214. Again, we're rounding to the nearest thousand. So underline the 1,000. Look next door to the right to know what is that number going to do, whether it stays the same or it goes up 1. We see that this is a 7. So this 7 is going to tell the 5 to go up, right? To round up. So it's going to round to 6,000. Here we see that this is a 2. So the 2 is going to tell the 3, stay the same. Let it rest. So it's going to be rounded to 3,000. All right. Now that we have rounded, we can estimate 6,000 minus 3,000 would equal 3,000. Because 6 minus 3 is 3. And of course, zeros minus zeros is still zeros. All right. So then the next thing that I want you guys to know is front-end estimation. So front-end estimation. This might sound very scary, but it's not. Okay? Front-end estimation. So what this means is that when a number or when a question doesn't tell you exactly where to estimate, you're just going to estimate to the highest place value, okay? So we're going to make our definition. We are rounding to the highest place value. Okay, rounding to the highest place value. So what this means is if I have a question that says 7,321 plus 820. Sorry, not 820. Okay, and it doesn't tell me where to estimate to, or where to round to, what place value to round to, but it tells me that I need to estimate. Well, estimating, you have to round before you can solve. Okay, so what this means is you are just going to find the highest place value of each number. So the highest place value of this number would be the thousands. So I would round to the thousands. The highest place value of this number is the hundreds, so I would round to the hundreds. And if you know it, notice the highest place value is also the leftmost number. Okay, see how this is the left of the number? So if we were to round these, we look next door to the right. 3 is below 4, 4. So therefore it tells the 7, you're staying the same, you're letting it rest. So it would round to 7,000. Here, the 2 tells the 8, since it's below 4, you're going to stay the same. You're letting it rest. So it rounds to 800. Now that we have rounded, we can estimate this problem, which is also called a numerical expression. Okay, so a problem is a numerical expression. Now, 7 plus 8 we know is 15. Again, zeros plus 0. This would be 1,500. Wait a second, I did that wrong. See, even teachers mess up. Okay, so if we put this in a, I did if they were both thousands. They're not both thousands. All right, so if we line this up, we have 0 plus 0, 0 plus 0, 8 plus 0, and then 7 plus 0. So it's 7,800. Okay, so let's do one more for front-end estimation. If I have ooh, I made a big number. All right, so if I have this and it's asking me to estimate, but it doesn't tell me what place value to estimate to, we use front-end estimation, which means we're going to round to the highest place value of each number, okay? So for this number, the highest place value is in the 10,000s, so I would round to the 10,000s. Well, the number next door to the right of it is a 0, so therefore it's going to tell that 1 to stay the same, okay? So it's not rounding up, it's resting, so it rounds to 10,000. Here, our highest number is in the millions, so we're going to round to the millions because that's front-end estimation, okay? So this 7 tells the 1 to go up, so it's going to round to 2 million. Now, to make sure I don't mess up again, I'm going to put these in an addition format. So we have zeros all in here, so they all are zeros. We have 0 here, 1 plus 0, 0 plus 0, and 2 plus 0. So our answer is 2,010,000. Okay, our estimation of that numerical expression. Something to notice is the front end, also to help you remember, is the front of the number. Okay, so front end, when it doesn't tell you what to estimate to, you use front end estimation. So you use the front number to round to, right? So we have estimating and front end estimation.